Grandma Lois sharing another little chapter of her life today. So here's my scripture, which is Psalms 138:7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou wilt stretch forth thy hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand will save me. So this is another little chapter. We went out and looked at that house today that James bought, and I tried to do a little video, but it's not loading very good. So I have a couple of pictures. I'll see if I can show them to you. I'll tell you what, it didn't turn me on. I sure wouldn't want to live in it. It's right on the highway, right through Sellersburg. But they're selling for such big prices out there now. I think he made a good deal. He always does. So I'm going to show you some pictures a little bit. Here, let me see. Here's what it looks like. See that house right there? It's got a waffle thing up to keep the sun out of the eyes. That's a little porch. Now let's see what else have I got. Here's maybe a little better view of it. And then this one shows the tree by it. And there's a bush. And let me see. Oh, here. There's the other picture of it. It sure don't turn me on. But then I'm picky. But you know what? It's just a little cabin-like. It's it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and a basement. So, and it's got a nice backyard. And here's the side yard. Let's see. Now look at all these rocks down the driveway where you go in. They're real pretty. They are lovely. And here is, it's got a carport out back. You can kind of see the carport. But they're there today, cleaning it out. The heirs are. So they'll have it cleaned out pretty soon. James went inside, but I did not. I took a video and it's not downloading. It's real slow. I don't know. Got my new watch. And I ordered 10 of these stretchy bands. And I asked James, I said, how do you like it? He said, do you want me to really tell you? I said, no, because I feel the same way. I said, you know what? There's a trick to taking these bands off, which I didn't know how. But you know what? I Googled it. And it showed me. I'm going to get in this chair a little better. I love my scenery. Anyway, I can't hardly get this thing off. It's just tough as wine leather. What's wine leather? I don't know. But I hate this thing. So I'm going to have to loosen it up and learn how to take it off. But there's a little thing on the back of this, a little thing you push right on the back of this watch. And you push it down and then they'll slide right in and out. And I didn't know that. I thought it would slide in and out without any problem because the man up at Best Buy didn't seem to have a bit of problem. And then I was going to call my daughter Karen. But I thought, no, I'll Google that. I don't want to be real dumb. I'm trying to take this thing off. And I tell you what, it's a problem. I don't know if I'm going to put it back on or not. Could I wear it around my neck? You know, when I was young and dating, you know what the thing did when you was 15 and 16? The guys gave you their class rings. And you wore them around your neck on a ribbon. So at one time, I was kind of dating 2 guys at the same time. I didn't tell you all about that, did I? And I can hardly remember what their names were. One of them was Charles, that one that, you know, killed his wife when he was dead drunk. After they got married, he married a girl I knew, and he knew, and I quit him. But anyhow, I had his class ring around my neck and another class ring around my neck, and I would have to be careful not to wear the class ring with ever who I was on a date with. I can't remember who the end was, but I made sure that I was wearing the right ring at the right time. Okay, I'm going to show you the back of this now. See, I thought I would be smarter, but there is a little See that little thing right there? You push in on that, and then you can slide that right out, right like that. So I can slide it out and throw the thing away. No, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to, then you mash the other one. And I think I'm going to put my magnetic there. Just like that. And I got 10 of these, all different colors. But all of them are so tough to put on and off. And I'm old. Still enjoying life. We had a good time today. We went out, we're looking for a small motorhome. Now me, when Buddy and I were married, one of the things we did after the kids grew up and got out of the house and married, we bought us a little motorhome. That way, if you're traveling to see your kids who moved off somewhere, oh, that ain't hanging right. You know what, the cats do that. But anyway, we would hop in our motorhome and go wherever they were at. And Mike and Karen, they pastored churches for a while before he went into the Air Force as a chaplain. And we'd go down where they was at, and we could park outside the house, and we had a generator. And when we got tired of sitting there talking to them, I never was one for going and sitting around another person's house for very long. I'm not good at it. So what I would do is, honey, are we ready to relax a while? And we'd go to our motorhome. So anyway, then later on when I married Floyd, number 2, I had a motorhome. And so, no, I bought one. I had one, but I traded it in, and I got a really nice one. And he was supposed to pay half, and he never did do it, but they left me money when he passed away. His kids gave me $45,000 after he passed away. They appreciated how I took care of their daddy, and I did take the best care of him I could. It was a partnership. Me and Floyd was more a partnership, but it worked. He was pretty good company most of the time. Most of the time, not always, but sometimes. So we had a motorhome, and when you're going down the road and you're traveling to Florida, you just find you a place and park over and take you a nap. Or you can quit and fix supper. You know, you don't have to eat out all the time. I don't want to eat out all the time. I like to make me a sandwich, maybe eat a hot dog. I can remember when we was on the evangelistic field traveling, sometimes we had to go, like if we was going from Louisiana to Texas, maybe it would be 500 or 600 miles, and it would take us a long time. So we'd just keep some stuff in the trailer, and then we'd just fix us something to eat alongside the road. You didn't have to pull into a restaurant, which is aggravating. And you had your bathroom with you too, which is real handy. That is real handy. I got so tickled this morning. We was traveling. I said, now, James, we had a storm this morning that was awful. And the wind, I mean, when I was trying to do that video of this new investment, my investor husband bought that house out in Sellersburg. I got out and I did a video, which I can't seem to get downloaded. It'll eventually get downloaded. But that wind was so strong, it just almost blew me over, and I thought, I'm going to lose my wig if I ain't careful. So I got back in the car right quick. But anyhow, as we was going home, I said, now, I need milk. See, I drink milk all the time, and I have to keep milk on hand at both houses. He said, why don't you buy 2 gallons of milk at the same time? I said, I got one at one house and one at the other. I drink them, and they don't, if you can't keep them a long time. So, well, he said, I got to take a leak, and I don't hear very good. He said, you know, in the bathroom. I thought he said that my bathroom was leaking. And I said, the bathroom is leaking? My bathroom has never leaked. He said, take a leak. I gotta pee. And we both got so tickled because, you know, when you get older, my hearing aids don't always work real good. I thought my bathroom was leaking. So when we got to my house, I had a fresh gallon of milk at my house. So what I did was I poured some into another container and left it at my house. And I didn't have to stop to Walmart because it was pouring down rain. And it's a lot closer to my house than if you go to the Walmart. It is always full of people. All the handicaps are taken. You are not close to the door. And I said, I don't want to get out of the car and run through that rain. And it was pouring down. No more hail, though, but it hailed this morning, and it was as big as a quarter. I mean, it was big. Down in Corridon, where my granddaughter lives, uh, they were as big as golf balls. And she had a whole handful of them that she sent and showed my daughter. They were big. Let me see if I can find that of her. So anyhow, well, I'm going to change the subject. So you know this St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and we always try to get us a brisket. And I had not got one yet. Now my kids has got theirs. Now Karen don't like corned beef, so she don't do it. But Kathy does hers, and Kim does hers, and I do mine. Mine turned out real good. So I had not bought one yet. But do you know one of James' workman guys bought us a 2.5 pound brisket? So here today, I told James, when we get home from doing all our running around this morning, we're hunting for a small motorhome. We need one. Did I say that? Yes, I think I did. And we went out there to look at one. Oh, and that brisket is in Ninja Foodie. I'm cooking it today. And then tomorrow and the next day, I mean, when you got 2 pounds, that's a lot of brisket. And it gets done in 1 hour in the Ninja Foodie, which is a miracle. I did mine in the Ninja Foodie last year, and it turned out really good. The thing of it is, tomorrow or the next day, I'll do my potatoes and carrots. You save your gravy, and then you put your potatoes and carrots in, set it for 2 minutes, and then you add it with your stuff. Cabbage and potatoes and carrots. And I have all that waiting. The cabbage is at my house, so I'll cook that later. It don't matter. Just work it out is what I tell myself I can. And somebody said that to look at Sandra Brown. Now, she's 82 years old and a very beautiful woman, and she's got a big following, and I do follow her when I remember to look at her, but I've got so many to look at that I just love that I don't get a chance to look at all of them. I'm so busy trying to think, what am I going to talk about next? And I never know. I just sit down and do another chapter of my life. James said to name mine chapters of my life. And I have a different chapter every day. Something's always going on, seems to me like. You just never know. But these bracelets, you ought to see them. I got to. Now, some are plain, but see, what I object to them is you can't stretch them hardly. They say you just stretch them right. Like, honey, when you go to put it on your hand, I can't. My wrist is what? 4 inches. And these are supposed to be good for 4 inches. I've got to order me some. I'm going to put my old one back on. It was magnetic, and it just clipped, and that's what I need. One that is 4 inches, and it was a little big. I like my watch so I can see it, you know, when I hold it up like that, and it kept going down. So the weather here is 64 degrees, and that's not bad, but it was warmer than that earlier. I turned the air conditioning on here at James's house because it gets hot in here. And last night I run the air conditioning in the bedroom because it was too hot in there. When it gets 73 degrees, I can't sleep in it. I have to have it about 68 to sleep good. Is real good. 68 degrees, and the humidity is up. And if I don't have good humidity, I have humidifiers. I've got 2 of them. I fill them up back and forth, and I keep my humidity around 43% or something. But now that the weather is, I don't have to fill them humidifiers up. They're real handy, and I do that. I take care of the house, and I enjoy it. God is good all the time, and I say that all the time, and it's the truth. We had a safe trip, and traffic was terrible. So, you know, we went down and got that big dinner. Did I tell you all about that? I don't think I did, because that was last night, and I haven't cut a video since then. Well, let me tell you about it. Maybe I did. I don't know. But did I tell you about, oh yes, I did. He had a birthday, and we all sang happy birthday to him, and he helped take me around, and he must have thought I was really old. But I don't mind being treated as nice as he treated me and made sure I was taken care of good. It was sweet of him. And he was his birthday, so we all sang happy birthday to him. And I thought it was $24, and it turned out it was $28. and I was getting the other money out of my pocket to pay, and he just pitched a $5 bill over to the guy that was taking my order because we got it to go. And today, well, you know, I'll eat breakfast, anything for breakfast. So I had some shrimp and some stuff left, so I just made a breakfast with some of it. Had They give you such a big old potato, I cannot eat it all at once. Ate a little of that potato, and then they give you slaw, and I hadn't ate all slaw, so I had a good breakfast. But I didn't eat it all up yet, so I still had some left. Piece of fish, so and oysters. I now I had the oysters for breakfast this morning, and they were really good. But so we came home finally about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I warmed up the other piece of fish, another shrimp, some of the potatoes, and there was some slaw, and that's what I had for lunch. So I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 meals out of that. Last night, breakfast and lunch, and it was $14. So that's not bad, is it? James ate all of his last night. He said I was stuffed, though I was stuffed. Supposed to be another storm coming in here pretty soon, but it was pouring down rain earlier. Big Tom don't go out when it rains like that. But when those people came to work, you know, he just treated them. He's a people person. I think he just must love everybody. It don't make him any difference. I could probably give him away and he'd be happy, but he don't want to go. He likes living with Grandma Lois, and I like him. He's a very intelligent cat, and we've got a lot more work for that Miss Jennifer, and to get all those twigs off of that. Did you all see that? I mean, it's everywhere. Just beat them out of the tree, and we saw a big old pine tree along the road, and a lot of those pine things were all everywhere in that yard where they had a great old big tall pine tree. Well, big kiddos, I think I've talked enough, but I've got to get me a new band. See, that's so important to little old women like me. We just enjoy the little things in life, and that's what we need to do. So I'm enjoying the little things, and this is a big thing for me, and it's amazing, amazing that that many people want to listen to me chatter. But I like to listen to some of them myself, like Chit Chat with Granny Pat and Peach, Mrs. Peach, Thrifty Living, and All Around Grandma. Y'all check her out. I mean, I like, there's quite a few of them I listen to. And there's others like Jared King TV. He's good. He does the Appalachian stories, and that reminds me of where I was raised. For a long time, I lived down in Virginia, in Mink Holler, and Smith Holler is where my relatives were. My grandma and grandpa lived in on my mom's side in Mink Holler, and grandpa and grandma Ayers, which my other name is Ayers, before I got married, was up there in Smith Holler, and it was named after her family because way on up the holler was a whole bunch of Smiths still living there. You know, they still do. They still live there in Smith Holler. And used to, before some of the elderly people, my relatives, they would make a trip every year to go down there to visit them Smiths. My Aunt Mandy and my Aunt Mary and Aunt Imogene and their husbands, they would just make a trip for old times. Now, I tell you what I used to do. Me and my sister and our two husbands, Buddy and Stanley, we would make a trip to go down in Mink Holler to hunt mushrooms. You know, morel mushrooms, because they come up in the spring, April. So we would go on the weekend and just go through the woods and hunt morel mushrooms. They are delicious. They don't taste like these things you buy at the store. Not at all. They have them for sale up in New Jersey sometimes in the spring and other places, but they run around $10 a pound. But if they ever come on sale, I'll use some of my YouTube money and buy me some because I can't go hunt them anymore. But for years, me and my mother-in-law hunted them out in Memphis, Indiana. Now today, we went on out to Memphis, Indiana because we're looking for a motorhome. We want, if any of y'all live nearby and you know a small one, about 24 foot, 25 foot, let me know where it's at. We'll go look at it if the price is right. So we've always, and James, I had a motorhome when I married James. And so it was a 24 foot and I could drive it. I could take it anywhere, and I did a lot of times. Me and Floyd took it to Florida a lot of times, and it was so easy to handle. Then when I married him, I got rid of mine and he bought a 32 foot. You know what? They're too long. They're too hard to handle. I wouldn't drive that thing because I couldn't back it up. I just couldn't handle it. And so he said, we don't want a big one. He liked my smaller one better also. So we don't want a real big one. But I will come a distance. If you're not too far away, we'll come and get it. Okay? And he'll pay cash. When he just sold another house. You know he's an investor. And when he bought that one that after I got rid of mine, and it was a nice camper, but it was 32 foot and it had a queen size bed, which was nice, and refrigerator. Well, they have everything. What I love about them is a generator, which means you can have air conditioning anywhere you are. Nothing like air conditioning. So when Buddy and I, you know, the kids were grown, we was not in the ministry, and our daughter Kathy was in Bible college out Springfield, Missouri. So when she had her first baby, who is now 41 years old or something, who still lives at home with mommy and daddy in New Jersey, Sarah Beth, grow up, girl, get out of there. You know, well, they don't mind her too bad. She's a little bossy. That runs in the family. So anyway, uh, we took our motorhome out to Springfield. And Kathy was in the hospital, so we just parked in the hospital a lot and go in and see Kathy, and Richard was there. And so anyhow, the baby was born, and I have a niece that's still not over me not calling her when Kathy had her baby, because she was out there also in college, Springfield, Missouri. And she wanted to be there when Kathy had Sarah. So I didn't call her. I didn't even think about her. I was worried about my daughter. I'm sorry, Sandra, but I didn't call her. So anyway, so the baby was born. It was time. They put her in the nursery. You could see them. All of them were there, all those pretty little babies, and the names were on them. And Richard says, come here, I'll show you which one is ours. And so he went around. He said, see that one right there? That's ours. And I looked. They had name tags on all of them. I said, you named her Samantha? I said, I didn't know y'all was going to name her Samantha. He said, we never named her Samantha. He said, that's not her. That's not, look, he said, she's over here. We named her Sarah. So she was about 4 cradles down, or nursery things down. So we got figured out. So we have a Sarah, not a Samantha. I still tease him about that. You couldn't tell one from the other. Both of them had black hair. Richard had real black hair, and when Kathy met him, we went out to Springfield, Missouri. I said, she dropped out of college. She was engaged a couple of 3 times. I don't know, I lost track. And when she came home then, dropped out of college. She was on scholarship. She played the upright bass. I bought her a big upright bass. It was enormous. We bought them Volkswagens, me and Buddy did. Kathy had a red one, Karen had a white one. And when they went to college, that they could drive. So anyway, she could get that bass in that Volkswagen. So, don't you know, when she dropped out, I said, and she got her job at McDonald's. She come home and she was driving me crazy. She was about 20 years old. It's not fun to live with somebody like that. They need to spread their wings and go. So I prayed about it, and the Lord said to me, my Holy Spirit said, send her to Bible college. So we went out to Springfield, Missouri, to the Bible college out there, Evangel. And we met a lot of people. We met a lot of young men, young women, and some of Kathy's friends went out there. So we met this one that had an afro that come out like this, and it was Richard. And there was some good-looking guys out there, but Richard, he's Jewish, and he got saved by reading a book and gave his heart to God, never changed his mind. He's still a strong Christian. And so anyway, his parents, they took him to a psychiatrist and tried to say that he had gone nuts because he said Jesus is the Messiah, and he was hanging on to it. He never could win his parents, though. So I don't know where they're at. I know they're in their grave. Their body is in the grave, but I don't know where their spirit went. I hope they made it right. I don't know. But anyhow, Richard has never changed his mind, and now he works with some messianic things that spread the word to the Jewish people and stuff. And there's a lot of Jewish people up in New Jersey, and that's where Kathy and Richard live. But so Kathy called me up when she was in Bible school, and I've told this story before, and all of you know it maybe, but some of you don't, so I'll just retell it. Like Pat says, we retell some of our stories because that's what we've lived. So she said, I've met this nice guy, and I didn't remember one name from another. She said, his name is Richie Cohen. He's Jewish. Well, I didn't remember. I mean, we met a lot of people when I took her out there on, you stay a week and get acquainted with everybody. So and she drove in, and he got out of that car, and there was that afro hairdo. And I honestly said, oh no, not him. I had high hopes. Not him. And that story still lives on. Even the grandchildren heard about it. Of course, he's a fine man, and he's a good father, and now he's 74 years old, I think. 75, maybe. And that afro kind of went bald some. I don't know. I haven't seen him since family reunion last year, and it didn't look too thick. But he's a good guy. And he's been a good father and a good husband, and I think they've been married now 48 years or something. And I've been married to James 15, going on 16. That don't seem possible. It has flew like anything. But when you're having a good time, it goes, don't it? And we had a good time today. So thank y'all for watching. I finally got around to making a video, and I hope it downloads or uploads or whatever. Uploads, I believe, is what it's supposed to do. So y'all walk that path where Jesus would be pleased with you. And we've had a wonderful day, and I hope you have too. And thanks for watching. This is just another chapter in Grandma Lois's life. Bye-bye.